Ira slowly closed her eyes. After a moment, Samira gently let her go. Ira sat there quietly without saying a word. Samira was still looking at her, but this time there was no mischief in her eyes, only a calm kind of patience. Slowly, Ira looked up and asked softly, "Why are you staring at me like that?" Samira answered in a quiet voice, "Because when you stay silent, it becomes hard to understand you." Ira paused for a second before replying, "You don't need to understand me." Samira shook her head. "No. I do." After hearing that, Ira said nothing more. The room became silent again, but this silence no longer felt uncomfortable. Instead, it felt heavy and deep with unspoken emotions. While moving her fingers along the armrest of the sofa, Ira asked softly, "Why do you take everything so easily?" Samira smiled a little and replied, "Because when things become complicated, you go farther away from me." Ira looked at her carefully. There was no anger in her eyes this time, only a soft hesitation. "I don't go away," she said quietly. Samira immediately asked, "You don't?" Ira slowly answered, "No." After saying that, she paused as if she herself was realizing the meaning of her own words for the first time. Samira leaned slightly against one side of the sofa and said gently, "Then stay." Ira let out a soft breath. "You're very stubborn." Samira smiled lightly. "And you're too quiet." This time Ira gave a faint smile and said, "Both of us are problems." Samira instantly replied, "No. We're compliments." Ira didn't say anything after that. She only moved a little closer, not completely close, but not far either. Samira noticed it but stayed silent. In a calm voice, she whispered again, "Stay." Ira lowered her eyes and replied softly, "I am here." Samira slowly turned toward her and said, "No, stay like this." After that, no more words were spoken. A soft silence remained between them, where so many feelings could be understood without speaking at all. Slowly, Samira moved. Samira opened her eyes a little and looked at Ira. This time there was no teasing in her gaze, only honest and clear emotions. "Ira," she whispered. "Hmm?" Ira responded softly. After pausing for a moment, Samira quietly asked, "So, when are we getting married?" Ira went silent for a moment before asking softly, "Your family?" Samira calmly looked into her eyes and replied, "I love you." Ira lowered her gaze again. Samira continued gently, "And now I have the ability to take responsibility for both myself and for you." After a short pause, she added even more softly, "Whether they accept it or not. I don't think about that anymore." The room fell completely silent. Only Ira's breathing became slightly heavier. Samira slowly sat up and faced her directly. "I only know one thing," she said quietly. "I want you." Ira said nothing, but the hesitation in her eyes had faded away, replaced by a calm and thoughtful silence. After a few seconds, Ira spoke with a mix of embarrassment and irritation. "You're deciding everything alone, are you planning to marry by yourself too?" Samira replied casually, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. "No." Ira raised an eyebrow. Samira smiled a little before saying, "I'll book everyone's tickets tomorrow." Ira looked surprised. "Everyone means?" Without hesitation, Samira answered, "Rodella, Tasha Apu, Nira Apu, everyone." Hearing those names, Ira went quiet for a second before slowly shaking her head. "You're really crazy." Samira peacefully rested her head on Ira's lap again and whispered, "Not crazy, serious." Ira didn't reply, but a small hidden smile appeared in her eyes, a smile she herself probably didn't want to admit yet. Suddenly, Samira looked at Ira again with her usual playful eyes and teased softly, "Ma'am, will you give me something to eat?" Ira frowned slightly. "What do you want to eat?" Samira pressed her lips together to hide a smile. "You know, food, if you'd give me a little." At first Ira didn't understand. For a moment, Ira became completely silent. "You, already decided?" Samira smiled lightly. "Yeah." Ira looked at her quietly before saying, "At this point, I'm starting to doubt whether I'll even be present at my own wedding." Samira went silent. Ira lowered her eyes again. "You're deciding everything alone." "I know nothing." After a pause, she looked up and asked softly, "Is this wedding mine, or someone else's?" The room suddenly became quiet again. Samira stayed silent for a moment before softly laughing. Then she slowly moved closer to Ira and said in a gentle voice, "Yours." Ira looked at her. This time Samira wasn't smiling or teasing anymore, only seriousness remained in her eyes. "I joke about everything," she said quietly, "but this one thing I'm completely serious about." Ira slowly took a breath. Samira continued, "If you're not there, then this wedding date means nothing." Then she added softly, "I'm arranging everything because you are here." Ira didn't answer. She only lowered her eyes again, while a soft warmth appeared at the corner of her lips. The room once again filled with that peaceful silence where words were few, but feelings were endless. The next morning, Ira's room felt unusually quiet. The curtain beside the window moved gently in the breeze, but there was no other movement inside the room. As soon as Ira woke up, she looked around. Samira was gone. Her eyebrows furrowed immediately. Where did she go this early? She looked toward the table. The cup from last night was still there, but there was no sign of Samira. Ira quickly picked up her phone and called her once. The phone rang, but no one answered. After pausing for a moment, she called again. Ring, ring. This time the call suddenly got cut off. Ira froze. What was that? She dialed again. The same thing happened. The call ended in the middle of ringing. A mix of irritation and worry appeared on her face. Is she ignoring me? She took a deep breath and called again. Ring, a few seconds. Ira slowly lowered the phone. Her eyes now held more than annoyance, there was fear too. That girl, she sat down quickly on the sofa but couldn't calm herself. After a while, she tried calling again. A new call. This time it disconnected even before fully ringing. Ira became completely silent. The stillness inside the room suddenly felt heavier. She kept staring at the phone in her hand. Her eyes were now filled with worry and an unknown fear. Where did she suddenly go? After a few seconds, she tried to call again but stopped halfway. Her hand froze in the air. At that exact moment, a soft knock came from outside the door. Ira quickly looked up. The uneasiness in her eyes still hadn't disappeared. As soon as she heard the knock, she hurried toward the door without wasting a second. The moment she opened it. Samira. For a second Ira only stared at her. Then suddenly she stepped forward and tightly hugged her. Samira became slightly surprised. Ira. Ira didn't answer. She only tightened her arms around her. Then suddenly her voice trembled as tears escaped her eyes. Where did you go like that?" Samira became still before slowly placing a hand on Ira's back. "What happened?" Ira didn't let her go. In a broken voice she whispered, "I called you, why didn't you answer?" "Where did you go?" Samira gently replied, "Ira, calm down." Ira shook her head. "No, don't say anything. I thought." She couldn't finish the sentence as tears rolled down again. This time Samira softly lifted Ira's face a little and said gently, "Listen." Ira slowly looked at her. Samira calmly explained, "I had to go urgently for some office work." Ira paused. "Why didn't you tell me?" Samira let out a small sigh. "Everything happened suddenly. My phone was off." Even then Ira couldn't fully calm down. "At least tell me before leaving like this," Samira slowly nodded. "Okay." After a short pause, she added softly, "It won't happen again." Ira looked at her once more before gently hugging H.